Scrabble and Trivial Pursuit may seem like fun and games, but they're actually being used as tools to combat a very serious issue, that of loneliness in the elderly population. According to the group Ageless Innovation, nearly 1/3 of all adults have reported they often or always feel lonely or isolated. That's why the AARP is sponsoring events across the U.S., encouraging senior citizens and younger folks to play games together. The Joy for All board games are revised versions of games, including Scrabble, adapted for easier play among different generations. Many people in Clinton County, New York have already benefited from the new twists on old classics, as well as new interactions at the Reach Out and Play events. Letter tiles, trivia cards, and spinners. All items that have brought people together over the decades. Now people who are decades apart can enjoy board games even more, thanks to fun events and game modifications appealing to all the different generations.
We've got a variety of board games to play, and we're so excited to have you all here. Hopefully some of the reimagined games will be slight twist on what you're familiar with, and I hope you all have a great afternoon with us.
In senior residences, shopping malls, and libraries, the Clinton County Office for the Aging has organized the Reach Out and Play events, one of many initiatives designed to compete against a sense of loneliness and isolation some senior citizens are feeling.
I know that there are some of my neighbors that will not get out unless some of us push. Like, the more we do of it, the more they get out, and they're not so lonely and depressed and just sitting there and letting everything go, you know? Because I have been there, but no, I love this place and the games and the events.
She's gonna win.
At the Plattsburgh Public Library, younger folks from Generation Z joined a bona fide baby boomer for some quality Trivial Pursuit.
It was fun to just play board games, I guess. I don't know, I like Trivial Pursuit, even though I didn't win. I was really bad at it.
I ended up playing with a middle school student and a senior high student, and we had a great time together.
It was really nice to interact with people in the senior community, because I think a lot of kids don't get to do that a lot, and I think you can actually learn a lot from older people, and I had a fun time talking to the woman I was playing the game with, and it was really great.
This has got 3 games in one.
Clinton County Office for the Aging Director, Darlene Collins, says Ageless Innovation, a group with a background in board games, has produced a modified version of Trivial Pursuit.
It has different cards. The cards are larger font to be easier to read, and each of the cards, instead of having all the categories on one card, it's one category per card with questions for 5 different generations. For example, this one, it's a people and places card, and this category is slang. The greatest generation question is, what geometric shape would hipsters of the 1950s call someone who was old-fashioned or out of touch? With the answer being square. The Gen Z question is, what steamy beverage is also a slang term for gossip? That answer is tea. So all these questions are designed to appeal to each generation.
In 1966.
Radio?
Oh, that was a great try. 8-track tape players.
Oh, I thought it was CD or...
8 tracks were
I think CD is more modern.
short-lived. They didn't last very long. I really liked the fact that you could choose the generation of the question, so that each of you could answer a question that was aimed at your time period. Otherwise, it just is difficult for people of different ages to play.
It's a really good experience because you can learn a lot of stuff that from their perspective of what they grew up with, and so I think it's very interesting and good to know.
A new spin on the game of life has updated it for intergenerational play.
Side hustle is used by millennials. Pay bumps are used by Gen X, and the coupons are used by the boomer generation. So each generation has their own unique components that they're playing throughout the game.
Service Coordinator Dawn Yeager of Keysville Country Gardens says the modified games don't require entire afternoons from start to finish.
There's some games I look at, like Trivial Pursuit, that can take you forever and a day to play. And, you know, intergenerational, if you have children, they're not going to have their interests for that long. And elderly, maybe not so much, or it just gets to be too much. So when it's modified, everybody can play and get enjoyment out of it, and there's an ending. Somebody's a winner, it's over.
I tested these games out with my family. So we had 4 generations of people. I had my 13-year-old nephew, my 30-year-old son, myself, my 74-year-old mom. We were playing these games together and we were having a ball with them.
Administrative Assistant Kristen Wheatley of the Clinton County Office for the Aging says the benefits of gameplay go beyond having fun.
It keeps the mind sharp. It helps, them to be able to keep using those skills. If you have a child playing, they're learning their words. If you have an adult, they're just reusing things. So it's really about using the mind and having an enjoyable experience.
All right, it's OPEC.
Oh, COPAC, all right. That was so long ago. I remember the shortage.
Right now, as I'm eavesdropping on the Trivial Pursuit game that's happening, there's so much interaction between the generations that are happening, and when the older woman has described herself as a retired teacher, and she's sharing her experiences from when she was younger, and they're having great interactions, and they all learn from that. Breaks down stereotypes between the generations, and it combats ageism.
I like playing with my son. I like playing with my husband. And now I've had the opportunity to play with even younger people than my son, and it's a lot of fun and a way to bring people together.
Davy Crockett.
Oh, not down the phone, David Crockett.
I think that this is a great event that the state Office for the Aging has come up with to be able to, get seniors out of isolation, but just in general, just something to give back to those people. And the games came to us from the state for free, and they're putting them out into communities and saying, get out and play. That's a great opportunity.
These events are important to combat social isolation and loneliness, but it's for older adults, but also for the younger kids. They've really had a challenging few years with the pandemic, and social isolation and loneliness impacts all ages.
Just playing the board games was really fun, talking to people, meeting new people.
You only have 30 seconds now.
Colin says she may help organize more gaming time in the future, but she adds you don't have to wait for an official occasion.
It doesn't have to happen by us. We don't have to organize. Anybody can host a game event right at home or in their own community. It's available for anyone to play. And it doesn't have to be any specific set of games. It can be any games, just anything to reach out to people, bring people together, and try to combat the loneliness for everybody.
It was really, really fun, so I would love to do this again. It's awesome.
To learn more about the Joy for All modified board games and perhaps organize a gaming event in your community, head to agelessinnovation.com.